What is up, everybody? NC.
JC and
We got a spiritual talk on something that I think really needs to be touched upon, especially in these troubling times that we live in, and that's how to deal with evil. And I think a lot of people are unprepared for evil, and they don't even realize that they're being subjected to it until it's too late. So we're going to go ahead and just basically touch on all the evil things in a normal person's life and how they can avoid it. So evil is around every corner nowadays. Everywhere you look, you're going to be faced with some sort of evil. Like, let's say you're on social media. You're going to view a lot of negativity. You're going to be tempted a lot. You're going to be tempted, especially with a lot of sexual activity on your timeline. A lot of people retweeting sexy girls and trying to get you to think about that. Trying to get you to focus on that dopamine fix. It's not a good thing. You need to know to deal with evil and ignore accounts like that and try to not spend too much time on social media. Try to limit your time on there, because I feel that spending too much time on social media feeds right into one of the 7 sins, and that's sloth and greed. Because you're spending so much time on something that really isn't beneficial to you. It's just a quick dopamine fix. And the greed would come in that you're spending your time doing something like that when you could be spending that time to do something so much more beneficial for your life. Right. You could be spending that time with other people. Instead, you're being greedy and you're having it to yourself so you can spend it on this virtual experience online.
I think a lot of it, too, is also pride.
Oh, it's a lot of pride, too. That's definitely another sin that people have every day of their lives. Evil is around every single corner. Another thing that I think happens with evil way too often is you see it a lot on the news. Right. I feel that most modern news is about doom and gloom. And what a lot of people do with this fear porn that they see on all the big 6 media outlets, on all the news outlets, is they let it take over their life and they let it control it. One thing you should never let evil do is control your life. You always have to be in control of every single situation. And the one way that you can control that is simply cut out negativity as much as possible. When you see something like the news that people are very addicted to because they want to keep up to date on everything that's going around in this fake theater show that's going around the world, they want to keep up to date with that so they can talk with people and have conversation points. I understand that, but at the same time, it's not worth it to fit in to talk about nothing more than a negative agenda that they want you to talk about, to fear something that they want you to fear. What it is to me is it's like I refuse to be a Pavlovian dog. Right. I'm not going to go ahead and fear something just because you start ringing the bell. That's something I've never been a part of. I don't like feeding into fear because I think that's the worst thing you could do, especially as we come towards some troubling times in history. This is not an easy time for anybody, but the last thing you should do is feed into the corporate cog of fearing whatever they want you to fear. And trust me, on the news, they're always going to have you fearing something new. They're always going to have you obsessing, being greedy over something new, because they want to take your mind off of whatever important issue that you should be focusing on and have you focus on something that doesn't matter. That's why there's such a heavy promotional push for materialism. Mm-hmm. They want nothing more for you to idolize these fake gods every single holiday period. And that's why during Christmas time, it's not a promotion of Jesus Christ. It's not a promotion of spending time with family. It's a promotion of materialism and consumerism every single time. And it's even become that way with Thanksgiving, which was supposed to be at one time a gathering of the family to just have a good time and forget about your busy lives. And now it's become so consumerist and materialistic. And that's something that they've done over time, is they've tried to make every single holiday, which could have been something wholesome and peaceful, into something evil. Yeah. It's amazing how, especially like with Halloween, they had something that was Samhain. That's essentially what it is. And they promoted it by, hey, let's have all these kids dress up and go ask for candy, ask for the worst thing for themselves, and get all hopped up on sugar and fucking have a sugar coma. Right. Heading into November 1st. So it's like the only really good thing to be promoted, I think about it, it coincides with November, is Nofap November. And let's go ahead and really quick talk about why Nofap is a good thing. Now, people have always wondered what happens when you stop masturbating on such a frequent basis. One of the things you're going to notice is you're going to notice a lot more energy, because every time you dump that load, you're noticing a dump, not just in your vitality, but also in your clarity as well.
Right.
You get gunk brain. I hate to say it.
In addition to gunk brain, you also get for men, you get a drop in testosterone.
Yes.
Afterwards. Like you feel, after you let it out, you feel...
tired.
Yeah.
You want to take a nap.
Either that or you feel like not as strong as...
I never noticed really a lack of strength. For me, it was mostly I feel lethargic right afterwards, and I feel demotivated, and I feel kind of like dirty.
Right.
It was never one of those things where like you jack off and then you feel great afterwards. You always feel like, fuck, why did I do that?
Well, and the reason why like sex is the opposite of that is that you're making a connection with another person.
Now, not just normal sex, because that's something that the media portrays crazily and is a sin that you need to stay away from.
Right.
We're talking about sacred sex. Sex with somebody who you love and they love you back. Yeah. That's sacred sex. That is perfectly fine by me. What I'm talking about is I'm talking about Tinder. I'm talking about these dating apps which are trying to destroy the family unit. And that's why you see Tinder and open relationships being promoted right alongside with feminism and all these other agendas, because they want nothing more than to destroy the family unit, and they are working on it by the digitization of everything.
Absolutely. And one of the great ways you do that to people is you put them through a lot of bad relationships.
Yes.
It makes it harder for them to commit.
Yes.
Because of all the baggage they have and all the things that they've gone through.
Well, and then they start listening to all these talking points, especially with angry women that have gone through the same ordeals that they've gone through. And you have, and this goes both ways, mind you, not just for women, but also for men too, these people who have had crappy relationships in the past, and all they can do is spew on why you need to not be in a relationship and why you need to be free and open and spontaneous and enjoy life and go out there and sleep with whoever you want. There's no ramifications. It's all good. It's all good. No, fuck that shit. That's one of the worst things that you can do, is go around and have casual sex, empty, meaningless sex with people just for an exchange of flesh.
Because you're not really making a connection with people.
There's no connection made.
No, just jerk off then, if that's the case,
True.
I mean, if you're going to go through all that haggle and stress, just fucking jerk off.
Right.
Yeah. And you made up a good point. And like a lot of people are just so disconnected from other people now.
But even then, how you were talking about with jacking off, that's unfortunately the situation that it leads to, is people that can't get women, they become so hyper obsessed, especially with nerd culture. I see it all the time with AEW fans. Yeah. They become so hyper obsessed because they can't get a woman that they start jacking off to hentai, that they start jacking off to porn constantly. Right. Like, there's these stories everywhere about nerds carrying around thumb drives full of gigs of porn.
Yeah.
And it's just, to me, that's the whole thing too, is that there's so much of a fixation in our society on porn. Now, I know we may come across as hypocrites because we always talk about having beautiful, sexy women in professional wrestling and entertainment. And the reason why we do that is we're looking at it from a business standpoint. We know that they bring in numbers, they bring in viewers. As far as what a person should base their lifestyle around, you want it to be as clean as possible. You want to try to avoid porn if you can. You want to try to avoid junk food. Because one thing you're going to notice, especially when you start using them all in combination, use social media, dating apps, porn, fast food, shit entertainment on TV. You use all of these in combination. What are you going to notice about yourself? Depression, loneliness, anxiety, sadness. Right. If you follow that trail and you start using all of those, you're going to start to notice that you are a much unhappier person. And that you're not as fully happy as you could be. Now, what is one thing that is shamed upon in nowadays society? Working out. Yeah, what is working out looked upon as? Toxic masculinity. And what is something that is prominent right now? You don't fat shame.
Right.
You're not supposed to be fat phobic. That how dare you bring a person down for their weight. Now, what I try to tell the people that have such a hard time looking at it from the perspective of working out is good, what you don't understand about working out is it's multi-processed. Not only will you look better, you will feel better mentally and physically. You won't be breathing heavy, doing small things. You won't break out into sweating as easily. You will have a lot more energy during the day. You will be able to get tasks done that you weren't able to do before. You will be a lot more active. You will be a lot happier because you're out there doing stuff. You're out there getting vitamin D, which is essential for your skin. You're out there socializing with people because you're more confident in yourself. You're out there going and looking for women if you're a guy, or you're looking for dudes if you're a chick because you're more confident. Something you didn't have before because you were too depressed with the way you looked. This is something that I think is fundamental, that people need to understand, that working out is something that helps you. And it's frustrating that everything that is really healthy for you isn't promoted nowadays.
Right.
I mean, whether we're talking about a healthy lifestyle, eating local grown food, drinking water, meditation,
right,
having a healthy relationship, building healthy relationships, getting a circle of people that will bring you up and not bring you down. I tell you far too much. I know of people that have shithead friends that constantly make fun of them, constantly treat them like shit. And that's just, oh, they're just joking around. What is that going to do for you?
Right.
Hanging around with dumbasses that just put you down all the time.
Right.
That's not going to do anything for you. You need to surround yourself with people who are going to bring you up. And that just goes with the whole nature of how reality is nowadays and how people, they just don't think about shit. They don't really look into it. And they're so just caught in their own little bubbles. And this is everywhere you look, not only in the world of pro wrestling that we talk about, but also entertainment, people's social circles. It's everywhere you look. People, they're drawn to evil.
Yeah.
They don't turn it down.
Not only is it tempting, it's
easy.
Yeah.
It's easy to get into evil.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you for one, my brother and I have both dabbled with witchcraft. Some very disgusting media in our time. We've had our phases where we watched a bunch of gore videos. We've seen the worst of the worst. And I think that's what made it to the point where we don't want to see that shit, where we want to have a better life for ourselves, where we want to stay away from that stuff.
Right.
It's seeing the dark side of life that makes you want to really appreciate the light side of life.
Right.
And makes you really want to make the best life that you can for yourself. And as I get older, that's all I really want for myself. And all I really want for my family and friends is I just want them to lead the best evil-free lifestyle that they possibly can. Because nowadays, especially as we get closer and closer to Sodom and Gomorrah happening, you're seeing people that you knew growing up that were once cool people. They're getting brainwashed.
Yeah.
They're getting brainwashed by the evil in society, whether it be from one way or another. And this even goes with the bear virus, mind you. You see the brainwashing happening everywhere. And even if there's signs like in the Bible where they talk about the mark of the beast, you're not going to see people caring about that or adhering to that. They don't care about that.
They'll fucking hold it up as a badge of honor. Like the whole identification thing that's coming. They'll hold it up like a fucking badge of honor.
Yeah, like, I got it done.
Yeah.
I want to be ahead of the curve. I want to fit in. And it's sad, too. I see people that are hardcore Christians that have that thing done to them.
Yep.
And I think it's sad.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the reasons why they did it, why'd you do it? Oh, my wife did it, so I had to do it.
Right.
Oh, my friends were doing it. I had to do it. One thing you gotta realize, too, is, and it feeds right into evil, is peer pressure.
Shame.
Don't ever feel ashamed for your personal beliefs. Stop trying to fit in. Be who you are. Right. Stay away from addicting shit. Stay away from dopamine hits. Really try to have discipline in your life. I think that's the main thing that really helps you appreciate moderation and regulation in your life is discipline and routine. They aren't bad things. Discipline and routine will give you direction in your life that you hadn't had before. And that's something that the elite evil do not want you to have.
Right.
They don't want you to be self-sustaining because the weaker you are, the more you feed off of Big Daddy government. The less likely you are to work. The less likely you are to stand up for your own beliefs, to stand up for yourself. The more weaker you are, the easier you are to control. And that's the reason why they want you embracing an easier evil society. They want you embracing those dopamine hits. They want you embracing all this fast food junk.
Yeah.
They want you taking that lifestyle and making it your own. They want you to be one of those people that just lives for porn, lives for junk food, lives to hate their life.
Yeah.
They want you being another cog in the system. And what you have to do is you have to fight that. And I know it's hard for a lot of people out there. I could see a lot of people out there, they're quitting their jobs left and right.
Yeah.
They're getting sick and tired of life. And they're getting sick and tired of the way that society is becoming.
Yeah.
And it's tough. And all you can do in these troubling times is really double down and spit right in evil's face and say, fuck you.
Right.
I'm not going to give up. Like everybody else is giving up and they're feeding in right into their carnal desires. Don't ever give up. Don't be afraid of discipline. Don't be afraid of routine. Embrace it. Because it's the number one way that you can fight against the evil. Because more than anything, they want you to give up. They want you to be weak. Don't be weak. Don't fear.
Don't be controllable.
Don't be controllable. Yes. And that's another reason why, a lot of people give a shit for our conservative viewpoints. We appreciate the conservative viewpoints because they teach you to stand up for yourself. Something that modern day liberalism, they refuse to do. Everything about modern day liberalism is go with what the media tells you to do. Mm-hmm. And we've never been those types of people. We always question everything that is put before us. That's why we're here on this channel, question everything we can on.
Right.
We are dedicated to the truth and spreading the truth to people. And we want nothing more than for anybody who listens to this to fight for your freedom. Fight to be a good person. Just really, more than anything, you want to know how to be a good person. You want to know how to live a life outside of evil. The golden rule. It hasn't changed. It's always been something that will lead you towards a better lifestyle. Really just try to promote goodness in life and try to promote the good things. Now, I know we have our detractors that have said that we've said a lot of negative stuff in our time, and we do that for entertainment.
Right.
But we also do it to tell the truth. Something that a lot of these people out there, they just are afraid to do. They're afraid to tell the truth. So they want to fit in and they want to be fake. So they tell lies.
Right.
I don't believe that's a good thing to be telling lies.
I agree.
I have to tell the truth. So that's why I'm here telling you the truth on why you don't give in to evil. You fight it. NC.
JC and
Peace out.